WesWes Show.
All right, all the talk of the game next Wednesday, but leading the headlines, breaking news. Roger, the latest on Latrell Mitchell. I'll let you break it for your team and your heart.
I can't remember what time. It must have been. What time did I see that? I posted it, but when I saw
Through
it,
your tears about an hour ago.
Can we have some sad music play in the background
No,
as
no,
he
yeah.
speaks?
Producer, can you make
Well,
sure you play a small
over.
violin?
So it was around just after 6:30,
Say it,
probably closer to 6:45, and I saw it
It's a
pop up on
prank.
my
It's a
news
prank.
on my feed, and I was thinking, is this the same one that they posted up prior to game one?
Yeah.
And like,
I don't
nah, it's a
It is
different
very-
picture. And they looked into it out for game two. I honestly thought it was a prank. I honestly thought it was a joke.
So early too. So early.
So
Yeah.
really, I guess
got a
in
week to
preparation,
Early call.
only because you know what they've done with Crichton. You know, Crichton didn't make the 17 again for game two, and yet I guess you got to bring him in earlier and announce it earlier, because if Latrell's out, then, you know, all the mind games aside, if Latrell's out, they just got to call it what it is, and just signal that he's out. Just so
Was
that
it like the
there's no
death
false
of
hope.
game one? You guys knew game one was gone after he was
No.
gone. Feels different this time. Feels different. Eh?
No, it just
Got
feels
hope.
disappointing that, you know, it's like having someone in your squad who's a starter for you, but yet can't even get across the touchline to get into the field because of his injury woes. And yeah, when I heard saw some comments about his calf, I was going, oh man, oh well, we're going to hope that he's back for game 3 for the decider then. Oh, sorry.
What?
Have I? Oh,
A bit of comedy in there, is it?
Well ahead of ourselves.
No. That's what he's just going to save him, because we don't want to jeopardize and worsen the injury already. He's probably close to being 100% ready, but let's just preserve him for game 2, keep him up for game 3, and just let the Crichtons of the world, and if needed, Matt Burton, to, you know, do what's required towards a fitter Latrell Mitchell.
Let's go to the rest of your sad team. Your new
I
half.
hope you had some really empowering music there playing in the background there, Cam. Okay, some real, like, sort of Eye of the Tiger type rocky.
Mitchell Moses, like I'll touch on a few players, but I guess there's going to be a comment overall of what this does to your team. So Mitchell Moses, well, what do you think is kind of was one of the names we kind of thought Freddie would go with as the safest? Your thoughts on his selection there? Sai, I'll go to you first, mate.
Mitchell Moses.
Yeah.
Oh, panic stations, mate. Panic stations.
Oh, wow.
Where do you start, man? Like, did they get Mimika after that doggies game? After
bit of a knee jerk.
After the 10th
example. That's a classic
after the 10th team beat the 15th place team.
Of selecting someone on pure form and playing his way into the jersey.
Like, I'm
available.
As a Queensland fan, and you know they were throwing up 3 options, right? They're talking about Adam Reynolds. They're talking about Nico Hines, obviously, who's you thought was the second man in, you know, the next man on, you know, coming off. And then you, like, Mitchell Moses, you're like, oh, yeah, a couple of people were talking about him, Gus was talking about him, but I didn't really think they'd go with him, bro. Whoa, lo and behold, like, Mitchell Moses is like, wow, where did that one come from? And I know he's got a bit of, but like I said, as a Queensland fan, bro, I'm quite happy they went with Moses, because I thought Reynolds would be the more dangerous in terms of his general kicking, his familiarity with Brisbane Suncorp Stadium, and not only that, but in terms of big game experience, Freddie's taking a gamble here, bro. We all know the history of the Eels, that Mitchell Moses has choked on the big occasions. He lost his debut game with the Blues. We all know the Eels' performance, and I'm quite disappointed. Pete's not on for this, but bro, Pete's had a few kangi values in the last 5 years of making the finals, and there've been build-ups. And even last year, they went all the way to the end, grand final against the Panthers, and what happened? Kopai. So Mitchell Moses has just shown that he can't get it done in the big games. But hey,
he's made it. He's made it to the big.
Freddie
dances.
wants to take a chance.
He's made it to the big dances, and I
I'm
think
like,
he's been there before. Like you mentioned,
yeah,
2021, he did lose that game, but he got brought into game 3. So,
but there's nothing in his history to suggest he's used to this big game experience. You know what I'm saying?
He'll know how to control the game. He's been around a long time. He's played, how many games for the Eels? How much exactly?
I think
games.
in terms of if you're going to compare Reynolds, maybe the running game, he's got it over Reynolds. Maybe a bit of speed in the footwork, but definitely with kicking game plus overall general number 7 halfback play, Reynolds would have been a safe bet. And then if you're going to go Reynolds, I thought they were going to go Walker, man. I think they missed out on having dangerous. Where they went wrong in game 1, the halves didn't really connect. And I love Luai, bro. I love what he does for Samoa. And he's an awesome player. He was the best performed player. But I thought that the combinations that they can, him, Walker, and Reynolds, they can spread. They can give the outsides a bit of early ball, a bit of a quality ball as well. But then you throw in the mix that Latrell's not there, so that combination wouldn't have been as potent now because Crichton, he's still good, but it wasn't going to be as good if you had Walker on the left, Latrell there outside of him. With all finishing off, so like I said, bro, it's interesting pick, but compared to what DCE and Munster's shown, bro, even Cleary's struggled to get over those two. Those two just proved that Queensland have the experience and the top game players, and Moses is another gamble. The same gamble he gave to TPJ, the same gamble that he used with Nico Hines. Where's Nico, bro? Carlo Fire, Nico, man.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Nico. Because
they're not even the number 14.
Yep, bro, they brought him in as utility, but then where they didn't quite use him in their last 10 minutes, they bring him on and he's replacing.
So they're going back to that 9. They're going back to that 9. But this is what you're saying about Nico, right? Is that they're all kissing his ass in game 1. Yeah, mate, he's got on a utility because outside of Cleary, he's next man up. Bro, he's only just one bad missed tackle when he came on against Munster, and then that horrible display. Was that enough for him to just discard? Like, just Freddie, bro. Like, it's a hard job being a coach, but come on, man. You're doing this to this poor guy. Next time you pick him, he's not going to have any confidence, bro. But I think it just goes to show it's another panic stations selection.
I don't think it was panic station. I think he was the right person for the job, but then there was nowhere to put him.
Well, what happened? You don't trust him now. You don't trust him for a big game.
No. Because they brought him in. And they put him at centre. When has he played at centre? And that's where that missed tackle came in. And then Hammer Mepepelo scored a try out wide. So,
but do you agree that Mitchell done enough to overtake him?
Based on that last round, purely on that last round, yes. But given what Nico Hines has done for the whole season for the Sharks, I would have preferred for Fittler to stay with him and give him that.
Well, that's what I mean. So, do you think Fittler made his mind up based on that last round of games?
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
he must have.
Don't know what the thinking was in the camp, but it looks like. Because Nico Hines could have easily, based on why he came into the Blue squad right at the beginning, he should be starting game 2.
Yeah.
Based on that last game, was that the undoing of him?
Yeah, I think so. You know why? Who fussied the Sharks? Fucking the Storm. So maybe Fiddler was like, surely Munster's just toying with him now, sullying him.
I think that's what.
This could be a bad omen.
Yeah, it could be.
So
his confidence levels might be down already.
Yeah.
And say, hey, how about we bring in someone fresh who will be harder to sort of.
But then you're throwing fucking Moses into the cauldron. He's unproven.
He's been there before. So it's what we.
He hasn't won. There's a difference between being there and winning.
Yep, he's been there. I didn't say that he's been there and won, and it was a success, but he's been there. That's all we've got.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's
a gamble. There's another gamble.
No, there's an NRL player with the surname Gamble, but this is not it.
Well, the better pick would have been Reynolds, bro. What do you think? Has he not been ripping up for the Broncos?
I would. Yep. Okay. Reynolds, Moses rivalry aside, I would have my pick would have been to stick with Nico Hines and let him start there. That's all I got to say on the matter.
Nice. All right, let's go. Some of your other debutants. Ikutamanu, Stefano Ikutamanu gets start off the bench into number 14.
Wow. Mate.
Call there.
Another Game Boy. Was it a harsh call? I'm leaving out TPJ.
Again, if we're going to use the same brush there, we're based on Nico Hines' last game performance. TPJ, as you already alluded to, leading in 2 tries, 4 tries in the last couple of weeks.
Was there his undoing?
It could be, just the little work-ons that he probably will.
Did you swear when he did the offload in game 1? Were you mad?
No, I didn't. It was frustrating to watch, and
I think I got a video of you. I think I got a video of your face.
Because I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you, Rog. You weren't sold on him, mate, in game 1 our pre-game 1 talk.
All I remember,
you didn't seem like you're confident with him.
Well, I wasn't confident with Tedesco.
You just wanted to pronounce his name.
Tama and I, we both were not on par with having Tedesco at the back. They've gone with Tedesco again. This, obviously a show of loyalty with the captaincy, but we weren't seeing it with the Roosters, and maybe he's past his best. But
do you think Tommy should be one?
Tommy at this point should be one, but then you've got the Penrith Panthers fullback as well. Edward, he
I agree with you, bro.
I believe he should have been given a shot.
Why even if Latrell was fit, he should have been one. That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was reckon.
I mean, you've got Latrell, you've got a fit Turbo, and then Tedesco. Obviously, those are all fullbacks, and yet the former 2 that I mentioned can slot into centre quite comfortably and leaving Tedesco at the back. But purely based on form this year, and even in game 1, showed that Tedesco, is he past his best? He's not able to manipulate the line as he used to.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the same inroads. He's still got the jinky feet, but he's goes
busy.
Sideways, backwards. That's it. But who knows? Hopefully he can pull one out of the bag and get us to level par with game 1 and 2, and then take us through to a decider. But he has to have a really big game in order to restore the confidence in the New South Wales fans, because at the moment we're not sold on the fact that he's getting selected at fullback to be our man at the back.
Whoa! Come on, man.
As much as I love the player, he's been a good.
He's Australian captain, bro. Is this what you do to your legends? To your New South Wales legends?
Hey,
he's not my captain.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
I believe he's out of form, and he hasn't even the reward that he's been.
You got to dispose of him just like that.
I'm just saying that
he's still making meters.
Meters sideways and backwards.
Throw him to the wolves.
Don't hold back. Hey, don't hold back,
I'm
mate.
just saying. Oh, it was just chit chat, is it? It was just chit chat.
So, your thoughts, Rog? I guess overall for the Blues team, there seems to be a lot of hopefully this person does this, and we wish them all
a lot of hope.
But what do you? How do you think you guys need to actually play the game to win it?
Hopefully, this Latrell.
Like without Latrell, what's the plan?
There's a bit of kicking a ball.
I know Freddie came in and said, get the ball to Latrell. So now what happens for the next week?
What's plan B?
Give it the Turbo.
Give it the Turbo.
All I know, this is what Fittler's come out with the media and saying it can be one moment that can be the difference between winning and losing. Does that make you any less a coach if you lose that moment? That's
well, he's had a few bad moments, starting with a selection.
Jay was a moment, and Hines had a moment.
That was Greg Alexander. That was Greg Alexander.
Whoever told him TPJ was a good idea, that was another moment.
Yeah. So I'm believing that Fittler, he's been there as a player, he's been there as a coach, and he's still there. And hopefully, his cause and the trust that the faith that he's entrusting in these players, in the selection, in the squad, the 17, bringing in Matt Burton, Steve Bryden to fill in the gaps.
There's a lot of talk of hope here, mate.
This
I
is the
know.
team. This is
I
the
want
team.
something solid, like a game plan, man. So hopefully they catch it.
The game
Hopefully it
plan
goes
is
to hand.
hopefully Liam
There's,
Martin can pass his concussion as well.
there's a bit of now the trials out. It's like, now what?
No. There's always doesn't matter
Bring
who
in the
goes
witch
out.
doctors.
There's always a contingency plan, and the contingency plan is to destroy.
Bring in our
Whilst they let him
seers.
move,
Bring in the
prophets. Just knock him out. And if all else fails, let's just have a good fisticuff.
Let's have a fight. See, that's what we're waiting for. Let's have a fight.
I hope Paul Gallen's in the change room giving them the inspirational speech.
Oh no, I hope not. For your sake,
Yeah.
Poor Gallen.
not the same speeches he used 8 years in a row. I hope not. Don't poison these guys. These are
because that speech worked so. That speech did wonders, didn't it?
Nah, because
anyone from the mid 2000s, keep them out of this locker room.
It was when he punched
This
Nick
new
Miles,
generation
they
don't
took
need
it
that.
out fighting. So if we can't win the game, we might as well
Just
win
bring
the
him for
fight.
boxing. Bring him in for boxing tips.
Let's have a few suspensions for game 3.
All right, let's go look at the mighty Maroons. Roger, I'm gonna let you have first attack at our team. Pretty uninspiring, but replacements due to injury, and that's about it.
I didn't even bother
Anything
looking
that
at
stands
it,
out to you, bro?
Yeah, nothing really. I didn't look at it.
Mate, just a lot of the same, bro. A lot of the same.
Yeah,
replace
much.
fire with fire. Like we don't lose much, man. We've got we're really lucky to have a bit of depth in that second row. So all our changes were injury forced, bro. So you had Nanai come in for
Gilbert. Tom Gilbert.
Gilbert, who got his shoulder dislocated, and then you had I was watching Billy Slater talk about he had the option of Gofusi there, but Gofusi with his suspensions, it would have meant that he hadn't played for 6 weeks. Whereas he's also been under suspensions and injury, but he's actually had a couple of games under his belt in the last month. And I think you throw in like
against the Storm, so
yeah, and he had an awesome game. And then you throw in his experience of debuting last year, and then you throw in the youth, where he's the next one coming up, the next generation of players, Queensland forwards coming through. So, and I was happy with that. I was happy with that selection. So you got him and Fafita in the second row. Oh, look out, damage, bro! These guys, and you know what? These guys are capable of that big play, of a big run or like catching the ball in the air over players. But what's been really impressive is they just got that mentality, like those old school Bailangis do, bro. Just roll your sleeves up, nothing pretty, bro. Just take the tough carries, make your tackles. So it's a bit of the same for the Queensland pack. I'm really happy Footwaker's in there. With the injury
to get back in there.
That's it. With the injury to Dry Arrow, that was a straight swap with Moyaki Footwaker, who comes on the bench for him. And between him and Tino at the Titans, bro, they've been such a good combination. So hopefully when they make the interchange, they can get Footwaker and Tino going together. It's just so you got Tino and Lindsay Collins there, who are two of the better props to run around in the NRL. And then you got these fast, probably not as big. I mean, Fletcher, he's big enough to handle himself, and he's a hitman himself. So I'm really happy with our bench, bro. We've got Fletcher, Cotter, and Footwaker there, who are really just big dogs, bro. Just real fucking yeah, but low to the ground, body type, really capable of the quick play of the ball, good leg speed, and especially Collins. Collins, he'll give you 20 minutes on a trot. You got someone like Tino Fasua Malawi, who's a leaner body. He's got good footwork, but can play longer minutes. So it's a good combination, bro. It's a good combination. And all talks about the New South Wales because they got the depth. They got they forced changes to try and pick the right team to beat us. And I think
there's one I didn't call out for you, Rog.
It's not forced changes, man. It's just the guys sitting in the wings waiting for the opportunity. So
it's forced in that you guys played poorly game one, and then Freddie's got to make some options. You know?
Contingency plan.
Do you
Oh, no, he was
reckon
Plan B.
Hudson
forced to
deserves to
replace
get back in, Rog?
David
What was that?
Tapangai Jr. What happened? Is
Hudson
that not
Young.
forced?
You reckon Hudson Young deserved to get back in after
Yeah, I
seeing
think
his game one performance? He got Koloa Matangi there waiting on the wings.
Yeah. I think Kolomatangi is a good introduction, and I think once he gets his opportunity, he'll be good.
Are you
But I
happy
think
with his pack?
Absolutely. I think
Bolo and Haas. It looks a bit. These guys are top heavy, man. You know,
no.
big and slow compared to small and fast.
Bolo and Haas are two of the better props going around, but I have to agree with you with Tino Fa'asuamalawi. I mean, he's probably one of the better. I'd rate him. I watched the game that he played the last round, and he's just devastating. He doesn't do anything too flash, but he's
hard
on
to
there
bring
with the
down, man.
tackles. Yeah, he's a hard
Always
man
on
to
his
put
feet,
there.
eh?
I think it's deceptive
Good
of
post-contact meters.
how big a unit he is because of his height, and he's quite slim.
That's
But
what you mentioned in game one, eh? Just head and shoulders above the other guys when he's running.
Bro, boys, I don't know what do you think, but what do you think of that? That was made a bit of the news. Old Uppy, he got injured, ruled out.
Ah, yes, the jaw.
What do you think about that, Rog? That didn't look like much to me.
Nah, I think that's always going to be an issue when guys carry the ball and they're running with their forearms. It's just a natural reaction to how you carry your arms. You're not trying to put it in with any malicious.
He didn't do nothing
Especially the
wrong,
smaller
right?
guys, that's
I
right
don't
in the
think it
chest of
was-
a normal sized guy. But I guess those smaller guys just happen to be right in
But
the.
that's like a defense mechanism when you're carrying the ball like that.
Yeah.
Having your forearms out. If you're not going to put a fend out, then you're going to just carry the ball and you try and bumping off. Reminder of what
That's
Jonah Romo used
Masters
to
running.
do.
Bro, as long as you don't lift
that.
that elbow, I think it's fair game. And you see the ball was close to his chest the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Everyone
the
bumps off,
difference is if you're carrying the ball one arm and then you lift your other arm, the opposite arm that's not carrying the ball. That's the difference, and that's where Hargrave gets into trouble quite a bit. But Tino was carrying it, in both hands, and just sort of braced his both forearms, and then unfortunately Uppy sort of was a bit high in that tackle and just happened to clip his jaw. So unfortunate for the Blues. We lose another experienced campaigner in Uppy. So on to the next one.
On to the next one, exactly.
Waiting in the wings. So, there's nothing that they can do with a fractured jaw. He's definitely out for however long. But yeah, I still, even after that happened to Uppy, I couldn't help but just admire the way that Tino carries himself and plays. He plays, he's always that controversial sort of factor about, his abrasiveness or his, not even for want of a better term, a grub, but he's just a hard hitting and hard carrying player that, doesn't really, he tries to play fair, doesn't really play maliciously at all, but because of his size, it can be sort of deceiving as you're watching as a spectator.
So the Damien Cook coming in, I think he can be dangerous there. Hasn't been in the best form, but he has played in the Serena before, so he may be one to look out for.
I think him being out for not being included in the initial 2023 squad for game one, I think it might sort of ignite the fire a little bit for Damien Cook because he's a seasoned campaigner. He's played all the games for the Rabbitohs this year, so he's trying to fight his way back in, and he's got this opportunity now, and I think now realizing that appreciating the jersey, appreciating being included in past campaigns, and then to be excluded in the first one up this year, I think it's probably ignited a bit of a fire in his game. And
yeah, man, he should be, bro.
So
yeah, man.
Hopefully, all guns blazing. He
puts
out a performance.
Totally hard out, man. Yeah, I think Freddie's
the faith that Freddie's put in him.
Nah, well, Freddie's better eat us here, bro. Let's call him out, bro. You say the last thing you just said there was the faith he put in Cook. Where was that fucking faith in game one? And he was quoted as saying when people were asking him why is Nico Hines the utility, Wes Cook, because they went with the two-man hooker rotation last year. And he was quoted as saying, "Oh, we looked at that, but we didn't think that did anything for us last year. I don't think it worked having hooker come on. Uppy can play 80, blah blah blah. Oh yeah, sweet. So you can pick Hines for your utility, no problem. Yes. And then what happened? Game 2, whack a whack. We'll have our for you, Uppy. And then what next? Oh, we don't trust you. Sorry, mate. You're not good enough for our 7. And by the way, yeah, we don't trust you for a utility. So we're going to give Solisi come up, bring in the 9, because, again, we don't trust Cookie to go full 80 minutes. So, I mean, what the fuck are you going to do?
Man.
Now you have like 5 bites of the cherry. Like, what is your option, bro? You want a proper utility. And if you ask me, as a New South Welshman, he's fucked up in the selections. If you ask me about utilities, Matt Burton's the fucking best utility that they could pick. If you think about someone who can play every position really well, he's another guy who's got the size to play in that ball-playing forward role as well as playing hooker or playing anywhere in the backline. So I don't understand his selections, bro. His selections a bit eat-ass, trying to backtrack and explain changes, but that's all he really is, bro. He's just chicka changes, because how are you going to have Hines? Okay, it's fine you don't want to pick him for 7. You trust Moses. But now you don't trust him as a utility? Oh, come on, bro. Come on. And I like Reece Robinson. He'll be dangerous for the Blues. He's one of the best 9s going past. He's one of the Cowboys' best players. Reece Robinson, really tough on defense and probably the best passing hooker in the game. But, I just want to bring it up, like Paul Burton, another poor guy who's missed out on a selection that he deserves. And just poor Nico, bro. Well, now what for Nico in his career? Go back to the Sharks and find your form, find your confidence. Carlo Fai, Scammer.
I think
I'm right. Let's say it. Is what you think I'm right or what?
You could well and truly be right, Simon.
But do you know what Freddie was doing?
This is all about trial and error. And you know what?
Trial and error now.
Well, that's not fucking exactly what we're talking about. You can't go. It's trial and error.
As human beings, which Freddie Fittler is a human being, we do tend to make mistakes through our trial and error every now and then. So, to his credit, he's trying to rectify that now.
So, it was a mistake having Nico Hines in the squad.
No, not a mistake.
You guys sound like you just don't care for your state.
Now that we've tried Nico Hines,
you've tried Nico Hines and decided scratch.
No.
Next, you sound like comments coming from someone who's given up on this year. You sound like Freddie. He's given up on this year.
We're resigned to the fact that Nico's probably had a bit of a dent in his confidence, especially after the game 1, especially after the last round. So,
2022 is not your year.
Nico, how about we just give you a bit of a rest outside of the squad, go back to club.
So it didn't work.
Get things right.
It didn't work.
We got Origin sabbaticals now.
I'll let you speak. So just let me speak. I'm trying to get to my point. Okay, my point's up here somewhere. I'm trying to.
What about Cook?
Okay. But
you didn't want him in game 1. Absolutely.
Game 2. I heard you the first time. Our listeners heard you multiple times before, but you're trying to interrupt me explain why it is they've gone with Cook. So they've gone with Cook now because he's tried and true. Okay, they know what Cook provides. Yes,
so back to the tried and true, right?
Fittler may have said what he said, but he was saying it.
No more gamble. No more gamble.
There is like I said before, there's
no
an
more
NRL
money to
player
gamble,
with that
mate.
surname. It's not this one, okay? So Cook is back in to try and carry our campaign into game 3 to make sure that it's a decider. But we've got the squad, the makings of everyone that's in there at the moment, our hard hitting, our hard running forwards, and then we're going to be supported by Turbo at the back, or wherever Turbo is.
I'm not worried about Turbo. We kept them quiet in game 1. I was worried about Latrell. But now he's not playing.
Through that defense, he's going to make the breaks. He's going to carry his
like he did last game.
He's going to carry.
Hammer was all over him in game 1.
No. You watch this. Nanai is going to be the joker card for you guys. He's going to be the one that's going to ruin it for you. I don't know why you've brought him back in. He shouldn't be in there. Murray, I do like Murray Taulangi. He had a couple of try-saving moments last game. And I think he's a sort of a quiet achiever, and just someone that we have to really keep an eye on. But it was his defense that had a couple of tries disallowed, purely based on his fight at the line.
I'm not convinced, mate. All right, how are we calling this? Si, how are you calling it for next Wednesday, mate?
Mate, it's to be honest with you, bro, it's just going to be ugly for the New South Wales team. I think they're lacking some real leadership, especially in the spine there. I think Moses is going to be overawed.
Underestimate us at your peril.
I think Moses is going to be overawed, and he's going to display what we usually see in big games. MIA. I think he'll be struggling with the pace of the game. Like every time he kicks, someone's going to be on his ass, bro. He doesn't have time. No time, and that's the difference between Origin level is that these halves that perform at NRL level, they don't have the time to make decisions like that in State of Origin. And same in game one. I think we're going to strangle them, but when we get opportunities, our halves have shown to be superior as well and be able to get the ball at the right players. And we still have some firepower out wide. Xavier Coates has been a good inclusion. He's awesome in the air. Roger touched on Taulangi, one of the best finishers in the game, and defensively can save you some tries. So, I mean, Queensland 13 plus. That's comfortable, bro. Comfortable for me, mate. The loss of Latrell has featured. I was going to say Queensland in a close one with Latrell. What Carlos Kama, and that's another one that's a bit controversial because it's so early out. And I don't know about you guys. You watch 360. The Bunnies.
Yeah, I reckon that's got something to do with it.
We're invited to the Origin, to the New South Wales Origin training.
They've had a suck.
So I don't know whose call was it to pull him, but like I said, Crichton's still dangerous to me, but we can handle him. But without Latrell, because he's a once in a generation player, I just think they got no more game breakers. They used to in Teddy. Well, my Teddy is a new Teddy now. It's a Teddy that's just not as fast and powerful as we used to seeing. The same with Tommy. Tommy's still all right, but like I said, we can handle him, and the Hammer handled him last game, so he won't see some space. Old Tommy, we gotta keep him quiet. I think we just got better forwards, bro. Yeah,
I think Damien Cook and Mitchell Moses will create that space for.
Well, it starts up front. It starts up front.
Yep. I get
you should know as a forward.
Once we make the inroads with the forwards, once we make the inroads, and then we get it off the mark with our. You see that last game with Manly, and how DCE was working with Croker to give space out wide, or the support running lines of Turbo. So that's what they need to inject them in that manner to give them the space, and then. Size up the gap. And
I think you look at the pack, bro.
Give Mitchell Moses some tips. You want to give him some tips before the game? I can organise that.
No. I think Mitchell Moses has got it. They're going to be sort of complementing each other. They'll be always talking and seeing throughout this week leading up to the next game. They'll have the game plan that's going to be able to capitalise on us winning game 2.
It's our game plan. It's our execution.
Exactly. And not convinced. I'm not convinced.
They will execute. And also let's touch on the inclusion of the Fox. I wasn't convinced of the Fox's inclusion from the get.
Oh, really?
But
To'o and the Fox have your wings.
No. Obviously, To'o. I'm happy with To'o being there, but just with the Fox after. I wasn't sure how he'd come back after being in the. He hadn't been included last year. But
he did all right.
We were a bit concerned because game 1 when Hamiso fucking burned him on the outside. Was that why?
So I reckon he went too early. He misjudged the tackle.
He purposely went early. He knew. He knew he was tired, and he said, "I have to jump now because I can't."
If he had just run up, continued to run after him,
he couldn't
before.
Blame Nico on that one. He didn't trust Nico. That's why he came in. He was like, Nico's fucking Miss Munster. I better give him a hand.
Then he knew he was
Hammer was able to just
you can't give Hammer space, bro.
But he would have had him. He would have had him.
He probably thought, I can cover him. I
He
can
would have
cover him.
got just
Nah,
fended
mate.
further up the
speed
field.
alone,
Nah,
on
mate.
speed alone, the Fox would have been able to catch him before he got to the 20.
Before,
and then
maybe 5 years ago.
And then he
But
would have got him. He would have been
the
able
hammer
to give
came
him a
out
Listen to
like,
bootlace
Vossi.
tackle.
Vossi just likes saying he's the fastest man. He's not, bro. Voss.
No, he would
Voss
have had him.
doesn't,
He would have
bro.
had him. It was the fend that made the difference, and him trying to attempt the tackle too early that got the fend out and then pushed him out. But
he would have
otherwise,
caught him
he would have
anyway.
had him covered. He would have.
He won't have to worry about that next Wednesday because he'll be
If he
busy
had
getting
got a
jumped
better
over by
tackle,
Xavier
if he had
Coates
got a
instead.
better attempt of a tackle on, then it would have slowed down the hammer, and then Tedesco wouldn't have been able to get
I think
broken the way he did.
I wish they do this race, with the fastest players in the
they used to.
competition. I'd have those two. You'd have like someone like Jason Saab. Even Cola from
Cola, they
Manly.
say he's fast.
Cobo. Man, there's some speedsters, bro. Yeah. But I still think Hammer's acceleration speed, bro. He can go from standing start to really fast. Whereas Carr's like top speed, eh? He's got long strides. He has to get going first. That's why Hammer beat him on the outside early, mate.
He's been found out. Hammer's been found out. Game 2. You know what happened in
we're doing
Manly.
predictions again.
What do you mean? The Hammer?
We're going back to the fairy tales and hoping.
He's been found out. So Turbo's all over him next game.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
Like the same way that Manly were all over the Dolphins.
Again,
are you doing the same thing in the last podcast when you're trying to compare NRL matches to Origin?
Turbo ripped up the game before on that Origin, and we're like, he's back. And then,
number one, he's fullback. He's not in the line. And number two, Origin level, he's got a better pack, a better team in front of him. So I think Hamiso will do exactly what he did in game 1. Is keep Turbo quiet, and then when the ball comes out his way, he's going to finish off the opportunities, bro.
Turbo ain't going to be quiet this game.
Okay. We'll see.
You guys are going to be quietly surprised.
Well, we hope you guys bring something. All right, let's go and wrap. Round 16 is a short weekend